2013 Yarnell Hill Fire and the 1994 Storm King Fire in Colorado are some of the most infamous wildfire incidents across the nation because they have several things in common. They both ended with a large amount of firefighters and fire personnel killed in the line of duty. At Storm King, 14 fire personnel, including 3 smoke jumpers and 2 heli-tac members, were killed after the fire swept over their position. At Yarnell Hill, which is slightly more infamous, 19 elite wildland firefighters known as hotshots were killed there. Only one member of their crew survived, who was on lookout over half a mile away. But both these fires could have been prevented. Even though they were both started by lightning, they both could have been prevented by good fire and land management practices. Good fire and land management practices have a say in how fires these days behave. If we continue to suppress and let fuel build up, that just results in hotter, intense fires that destroy property. The places in both fires, the places where the Prineville hotshot crew and the Storm King Fire and the Granite Mountain hotshots at the Yarnell Hill Fire were killed, were areas of thick brush. Where spotty fire management, it was on this private property that hadn't, in the Yarnell Hill Fire's case, hadn't seen actual flames for 50 years. Fire was once seen as an effective management tool, now it's seen as an enemy. And this mindset kind of changed after World War II, when the surplus aircraft and military equipment became available to the Forest Service. They also instituted something called the 10 a.m. rule, which basically said that any fire spotted had to be put out by 10 a.m. the next day. And it was a labor-intensive policy. Fire personnel didn't like it, but that was the rule. So what does good fire and land management look like? In Los Angeles and most of California, homeowners are required to not only cut dead trees and branches from around their house, but also to clear their gutters of leaves and pine needles, and to create something called defensible space around their house. A 30-foot fireproof zone that is not only meant to help firefighters do their job, but to prevent the fire from actually getting to the house. They can do this by using hardwood trees or fire-resistant trees such as hardwood and cherry, fire-resistant plants such as aloe vera, which is not only fire-resistant but drought-hardy too, or mulch zones, concrete sidewalks, or swimming pools. In a study at UC Berkeley over prescribed burning, they found that a burned area had a large concentration of bark beetles, which prey on fire-damaged trees, but the concentration was short-lived, and after the plants began coming back in the area, it was almost wiped out. The Forest Service these days uses mechanical thinning to basically go in and simulate what a wildland fire would do. This is the job of hotshot crews and smoke jumper crews in the off-season, and that they just basically simulate what a wildfire would do. So, practicing good fire and land management will result in healthier forests and wildland, less danger of intense wildfires like the kind we've been seeing lately, such as the Rim Fire, the Yarnell Hill Fire, and less loss of life and property in a wildfire event. This is important as cities and development continue to extend further into wildland areas that were once considered too remote. Less costs and resources devoted to fighting wildfire, and less costs increased because of a wildfire event. Fire brings new growth. Fire can be thought of as not as a friend, but a partner in helping the wildland be healthier. It brings new growth after a burn. And some experts predict that fire will be thought of more like a hurricane. It has to be endured instead of fought. Fire also plays a major role in nature, which we need to be aware of. We can do our part by creating defensible space around our house if we own one in the future. If you're up for it, going out and joining a wildland firefighting crew, supporting wildland firefighters, most of all, just being aware of fire's role in nature. It's good in the right place, but only if it's under control and if we're aware of how it works, what it does, and what it does for the ecosystem. Thank you.